So now we enter the initiation of impulse. So this is the graph for initiation of impulse, where here is the action potential occurs. So before we enter this graph, you have to know about the axon, where the axon has several proteins that is embedded in the membrane of the axon. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the several protein, and this is the axon. Right. So the first protein is the NAK pump. Alright, so this is the NAK pump. Alright, and this one is the sodium gated channel, and the red one is the potassium gated channel, potassium ion gated channel. Okay, so for the sodium potassium pump, NAK pump, bear in mind that this one will pump 3 Na plus out from the exoplasm. Okay, out from exoplasm, while it will pump 2K plus into exoplasm. Okay, so 3 Na plus will move out, 2 will move in. Okay, and for the Na plus gated channel, it will allow Na plus to enter, while the potassium gated channel, it will allow K plus to enter. Okay, so this is the exoplasm where the charge are here. Okay, so that is the introduction for the protein. So now we enter for the graph. So as you can see here, the first phase of the graph is the resting potential. This one is when the NAK pump is activated. Okay, so resting potential NAK pump is activated. When the NAK pump is activated, it will pump 3 Na plus out from the exoplasm and 2 out and 2 K plus in. Okay, this pumping of the 3 plus out and 2 plus in will cause the exoplasm to be charged negative. So as you can see from the graph here, at resting potential, it is around negative 70. Okay, so one reason is because the 3 plus is pumped outside from the exoplasm and 2 only pumped inside. So another reason why the exoplasm is negative charge is because anions in exoplasm cannot diffuse out. Okay, because it is large in size. So the anions is large in size. So it cannot diffuse out of the exoplasm, making the exoplasm more negative, which is the negative 70. So at this phase also, the Na plus gated channel, the K plus gated channel is inactive, not active. Right? So resting potential is where there is no impulse. Okay, this one is activated, this two is not activated. So it is also called as the polarization state. Okay, so meaning the exoplasm is in polarized state, negative charge. Okay, alright, so we enter for the first phase of the graph. So the increased part here. So this one is where the impulse is generated. So now the depolarization is where impulse is generated. Okay, so how the graph increase from negative 70 to negative 50 is because NAK pump is inactive. Okay, so there's no pumping of 3 plus out and 2 plus in. And now when the depolarization state, the Na plus gated channel is active. Okay, so now this channel is open. So when the gate is open for this channel, it will allow Na plus from the outside comes inside the exoplasm. So Na plus from the outside will diffuse inside the exoplasm. So making the exoplasm slightly positive charge. So that's why the graph slightly increase positivity. Alright, so until it will reach the threshold level, which is around negative 45 or 50. 55, 50, negative 55. Okay. Alright, so when the impulse reach the negative 55, which is the threshold level, so all for this part here, it is called the depolarization of action potential. So now we enter the part of action potential, starting from here until up here. Okay. So this part here, the NAK pump is still inactive. Okay, and all more Na plus gated channel open or active. So as you can see, just now there's 2 only. Now there is more Na plus gated channel is open, allowing access of Na plus influx into exoplasm. Okay, what is the meaning of influx? Meaning more Na plus move into the exoplasm. Okay, so this one is called the positive feedback, meaning it is slowly, at the first part is the few Na plus. Okay, now it will increase the Na plus, diffusion of Na plus into the exoplasm. That is positive feedback. Okay, so as you can see here, the graph will automatically increase high. So here is where the Na plus gated channel opens. All Na plus gated channels are open. Okay, so at the peak here, the Na plus gated channel will close automatically, while the K plus channel will open automatically. Okay, so here is where the repolarization state will occur, will start. Right, so as you can see here, Na plus gated channel is open and is closed, while the K plus gated channel is open. Right, so when the K plus gated channel open, Na plus gated channel close. So when K plus gated channel open, it will allow K plus from the inside of the axon, which is the exoplasm, to diffuse out to the surrounding. Okay, so making the exoplasm negatively charged because the positive has diffused out. So as you can see from the graph, it will become more negative, decreasing in charge. Okay, so more negative because of the K plus efflux. K plus will efflux out from exoplasm. Okay, so this one is the repolarization, meaning it want to return the exoplasm back to its negative state. Okay, so I repeat, repolarization is where the exoplasm is returned back into the negative stage. Okay, so that is repolarization. So one characteristics for the K plus gated channel. So K plus gated channel close slowly. So when the K plus gated channel close slowly, it will allow few of the K plus to exit out. Okay, diffuse out. So that's why this will create this hyperpolarization. So at this part here, okay, at this part here, which is the number 5 here, this part here, meaning the axon is more negative compared to the resting potential. Okay, why it is more negative, why it is below the resting potential, is because the K plus gated channel close slowly. So allowing excess or a few of the K plus diffuse out. Okay, so making the exoplasm charge more negative, around negative 80. Okay, so to recover, so this one is the potential, resting potential, recovery phase. Okay, so the recovery phase is where the hyperpolarization is returned back into the resting potential. Okay, return to resting potential. So how to recover back, how to return back into the resting potential? We need to activate back the NAK pump. Alright, so at this part here, starting the activation of NAK pump. So NAK pump is activated back. Okay, so when all the K plus closes, so to recover back, the NAK pump will start to open and return back to resting potential. So the cycle will repeat again.